Hello YouTube, welcome to video number 12 in our introduction to programming with Python series. So in this video we're going to be looking at conditional statements and how they can be used in Python. So in conditional statements in Python we have mainly three conditional statements. We have if, else if, and then finally we have else statements. Okay, so we're going to look at all of them and see how our conditional statements are and how it can be used. So very sometimes when you're building a program, right, you want a certain code to be executed if and only if there's a certain condition. So for example, you want to print adult on the screen if the age of the person is greater than 18 or less, greater than 18, right, greater or equals to 18. So we want to print adult on the screen if the person's age is greater than or equals to 18. So we have this kind of logic that we implement in Python, and we want only some parts of our code to execute if a certain condition is true or if a certain condition is false. So like we have this kind of things in programming. So let's look at how we can use conditional statement to achieve those. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new file, and this is going to call it part 12, right? So I'm just going to be part 12. So part underscore 12.py. So part 12.py. So in part 12.py, that's where we're going to go ahead and write our statement. So let me just go ahead and simply write for you a draft. Okay, so if something is true, right, we just keep a colon this way, and then finally we say do this or execute this part of code. So execute let me just execute this code if the code execute this code and this block. Okay, let me just say this block right here. So let me just comment this out. Okay, so we have a commented code out here. So let me just move it this way, and let's keep the comment right here at the beginning of the line. Okay, so if something is true, then you want to execute this. So if, and then the condition, and then colon, and then you go and you indent your code and write the whatever code you want to be executed if that condition is true. Okay, so we can also say, we also have elif something is underscore true, right? You keep colon, and then you say here also want to do underscore this, do this. You can say execute this code under this block right here. So we have that also stated there. So once we have that, you can just also comment out this. Let me just uncomment it and then keep the comment right at the beginning right here. So once I have this done, we just also write the other part of the code. We can say else, and then say do this, right? You can say do underscore this, and we'll only do this if all the above conditions, if all above conditions fail. That's it, fails, or if all the above condition fail, and you're going to, that's when you jump into the else block. Okay, so that's basically the code right I have here right here. So if something is true, and this is going to be a boolean statement, then it's going to execute this code. It's not going to execute any code under the if elif or the else block. If elif is something else is true, means that if this is not true, it's going to move to the elif, and it's going to check another condition. If this condition is true, it's going to execute only the code under this block and not any other code. It's not going to execute this. It's not also going to execute this. And then if this one also is false, right? If this is false, then it drops the else. So the else block will only be executed if all the above statements are failed, right? So if all the above statements fail, means that if the else statement fails, if the elif condition also fail, and you can have multiple elif and not just one. You can have multiple elif statements in your code, so you can have multiple elifs in case you have to check for multiple conditions. But I'm just going to keep it simple just for you to understand the concept. Okay, so let me go ahead and actually show you how this works. Okay, so let me just say we're taking age, right, and age is going to be of type int, and you're going to say it's going to be equals to 10 years old. The person is 10 years old. So we're going to check if age, you're going to say if age is greater than or equals to 18. That's an adult, right, in most countries. Okay, so you can say colon. So that's how an if statement works. So if, and then the condition, right, and then the condition statement, and then colon, right after that. I think you can keep a colon and then write the code under this block. So we're going to write the code under this block right here. So let's say that this will be a condition. This is basically a boolean value. So I can even just remove this part, and let me just show you. If I just say true right here, and then say print hello world, just like that. This is, yeah, let's say hello world, just like that. So we only print hello world if the our condition is true. In this case, we have implicitly specified that it's going to be true. So whenever I write the code, it's always going to be true. So I will always execute this code under the block. So you just go ahead and clear the terminal and just say Python 3, and then it's going to be part this is going to be part 12, just like that, and simply run the code. So you can see we get hello world because this is true. What if I change this to be false? And let's see what we get. So go back to the terminal and execute. We see we don't get any output because it's false. So this code will only be executed when it's true. So when this is true, the code will be executed. So we can keep a condition that will also result into a true or a false statement. So let's say if age is greater or equals to 18, right? That's an adult. So if that's true, we're going to go ahead and print adult. So we're going to say adult right here. So adult. So if age is greater or equals to 18, you're going to go ahead and print adult. And these are just comparison operators. Then we look at comparison operators in the last video. So if you have any issue, you can go back and check out that video on comparison operators. So currently our age is gonna be 10 years old, and 10 is not greater than 18, right, or equals to 18. So that should be false. So we shouldn't get any output. So what if it is true? So let's change our age to be, let's say 20. 20 is greater or equals to 18. So if you run, you get back adult, right? Because 8 is greater than 20. So it's greater than 18. So let me change it back to 10. And okay, let me just show you now how else statements work. So else block will only be executed if this condition up here fails. Means if this condition results to a false, then the else block will be executed. So you just go ahead and simply say, print child. Okay, let's say child right here. So child, just like that. So if age is greater than 18, you're going to go greater than or equals to 18, you're going to go ahead and say adult. Else, you're going to go ahead and say child. So if this condition is not met, means if this condition does not evaluate to a true, you're going to go ahead and execute the else block. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the code again. Now you can see it's child. So if I go ahead and change this to be 20, now 20, this issue check, our program is going to go and check if 20 is 20 greater than or equals to 18. Yeah, 20 is greater than 18, so that's true. So it's going to print adult. Okay, and it's not going to print the child code. So if I child part, so it's only going to print the adult part. So it will only print this when this is true, and it won't print this in case it prints this, right? So in case this is true, only the code under this block after this indentation is going to work. So one thing people commonly forget in Python is the colon. So don't forget the colon after that condition. So else, colon, and then space, and then enter to get a new line. And also I have to talk about code indentation in Python. So if you go here, you can try your code here. You have to go ahead and press tab on your keyboard. Once you press tab, it's going to indent the code, and that's called code indentation in Python. If you're coming from other programming languages, this is not really important. But in Python, even just by skipping one simple line, like a tab is 4 spaces, right? But if you just skip 2, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You're going to get an error. So make sure that you're always pressing tab. Okay, so if you reach down here, press tab to keep a space of 4. Okay, so even if you go back and keep like this, it's not going to work, right? So we have to always make sure that it's a tab and completely indented. So that's just some quirky parts of Python, and that's why some people coming from traditional languages like C++, where we have curly braces, on Java, they don't really like Python because you have to indent, and you have to like make sure that it's indented properly, or else it won't work. So that's one thing. So make sure that your code is always indented. So after else, colon, and then indent, and then write your statement. Even here, colon, and then indent from the baseline, and then write your statement. So that's something that you have to pay attention to when working with Python. So that's how if and else statement works. So if age is greater than or equals to 18, you're going to go ahead and print adult. Okay, if it's true. If it's not true, we'll jump to the else block, we'll print child. Okay, when adult is printed out, child block will not be executed because this condition happened to be true, right? Good. So what if you want to check for multiple condition? Okay, so you have if, and that's when if comes in. So if, and then you pass in a condition, and then colon, and then tab, and then press enter. Or if you go here, just press tab to write another part of code. So let's say print you can drive a car. So let's say that if a person is 16 years old, he can drive a car. So if a person is 16, if it's greater or equals to 16, if age is greater or equals to 16 rather, so if age is greater or equals to 16, you can say the person can drive a car. So in this case, the is going to start from here. Our age is 20, so we need to check is 20 greater than or equals to 18. 20 is greater than 18, so it's going to print adult. Okay, let me now change it back, and if it prints adult, it's not going to execute any of the codes here. Okay, so what if I change this to be, let's say 16, right? Exactly 16. So it's going to check is 16 greater than or equals to 18. That's false. So it's not going to execute this code. It's going to jump to else block, if block, and it's going to check is 16 or is age greater or equals to 16. But in this case, 16 is equals to 16, right? So it's going to go here. So it's going to evaluate to true, and once it's evaluated to true, it's going to go under this block and execute print you can drive a car. And it's not going to print any of this, and that's how the program ends. So let's go ahead and try this out, and let's see what we get. And you can see it says that you can drive a car because we meet this criteria right here of age being 18. So this statement was true. So only this statement gets executed. This won't get executed, neither will this. But if both of them fail, let me change the age to 14. So it's still 14. 14 is less, so this statement is gonna be false. And it's going to move down here and check this statement, which is also going to be false. So it's going to go ahead and print out the else block. So it only reach the else block if all the condition up here fail, like they evaluate to false. So basically, so if I run the code, it's going to be returned to as child. And that's how if else if statements work in Python. Yeah, so that's basically it about conditional statement in Python. I'm going to give you an assignment just for you, make sure that you guys understand this. Okay, so we don't have any assignment from the last video, so let's take out today's assignment, because to really understand this conditional statement are very, very important in programming. Not only in Python, all programming languages we have conditional statement, so it's very crucial that you understand how they work. And the best way to do this, actually, not just watching the video but also practicing on your own, because there's no point of learning something that you never apply. Okay, so to apply this, what you can simply do is write a program that takes in user input, amount of money they have to buy a car. So let's say a user wants to buy a car, so you just write a program that and then ask the user how much they have. So they will be able to buy the car if the income is 5 times more than the price of the car. So we have the price of the car. You're going to check the income against. We're going to take the income times 5 and then check it against the price of the car. So if the income is if 5 times of the income, if the income is 5 times more than the price of the car, then they can be able to buy the car. 5 times more or 5 times equal, they can buy a car. If the amount of money they currently have is 2 times less than the price of the car, they will be prompted with a message, you can buy the car but save more money, right? So if their income is 2 times the price of the car, so I mean the amount of money they have is 2 times the price of the car, they can buy the car, but we have also prompted them to save more. Okay, if all the given conditions are not true, output you are not able to purchase the car. So that's basically it. So they'll be able to purchase the car when the income level is 5 times or equal or 5 times or greater than the price of the car. They will also be able to purchase the car, but given a warning to save more if their income is equals to 2 or greater than 2 times the price of the car. Else they won't be able to purchase the car in under if those statements are if those two conditions fail. So that's basically, so just write the program to do that for you, for me, okay, for us. Okay. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you. So again, don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you guys can be able to get the solution to this assignment whenever I upload the next video. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and keep safe.